Ladies and gentlemen, the books is in. The books are in. Yep. They're in. They're here.
Log in to KofiPaisaTV.com and get Spears of the Mossy Volume 1 by Kofi Paisa Research Team, from Spears the Pen Volume 2 by Kofi Paisa Research Team, Spiritual Combat Volume 3 by Kofi Paisa Research Team, One Night Before Bed by Any Harret Shun Calfunny, Kalawa's Trip to the Motherland by Kofi Paisa, From Cocaine to Consciousness by Any Harret Shun Calfunny, As I Learned, We All Learn by Kofi Paisa. Also, if you want fresh merch, go to our online store, Family Connect Apparel, and get all the brands. Also, get our 54 deck of quiz and educational cards available now on KofiPaisaTV.com.
What up? What up? Peace to the chat, man. What up, brother Saru, brother Lamar, Keenan, sister Nzenga. What up? What it do? Man, I almost didn't make it. Today is a busy, hectic day. But yeah, man, I refuse to allow these disingenuous Hebrews to paint the narrative of theism as a generality in African culture to try to place themselves or their ideology in African culture, in African history, in Africa, period, especially West Africa. So yeah, what we gonna do here, because these brothers over there still alive, I'm gonna play the claim, and then real brief, we're gonna get into the claim, and we'll see what we can do about it, if it's accurate, if it's inaccurate, and we'll keep it moving. So let me present the claim. All right, my bad. No sound. I know what's going on. I forgot to share the audio, so my bad, fam. We're gonna get right back to it.
Upward mobility, we can get into these fields. Okay, we can get into these fields if we get that free college. Because a lot of people say, well, college is expensive. So, okay, if that happens, then that's no longer an excuse. And college ain't that expensive, especially if you go to an HBCU. If you go to a HBCU like TSU down south, $4,000 a semester. $4,000 a semester. So you're looking at what, 4, 8, 16,000 for a bachelor's in computer science. And free trade schools, that's even cheaper. A trade school cheaper than a degree. So, you know what I'm saying? You can do what I did. I went to trade school, got my HVAC certificate, and I make pretty good money. I make a decent amount of money doing that. Hey, Chazakaya, I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name. He said TSU is not that cheap. Bro, we pulled it up on the channel, bro. It's the tuition, the average tuition is $4,000 a year. I mean, a semester. That's the average tuition. So, I mean, I'm just going off the data that I saw. Yeah, we know Sutek. The Sue and Sutek is pseudo. This video ain't got nothing to do with that, and he come on here to troll. He lied about. Since you want some attention, I'm gonna give you some attention because this video had nothing to do with that. This brother came on here and said Olodumare was an example, wasn't a theistic God because Olodumare doesn't deal with the people. Olodumare deals with the people. He interacts with his creation. Therefore, is a theist God. Okay?
Now, first of all, I'm assuming the brother don't know how to spell pseudo. Pseudo is spelled PS. But yeah, I'll let that slide. The claim was Olodumare. First, let me set the backdrop. I came on a platform in a chat, and I hear them talking about atheism, like it's a problem with claiming Africa and being quote unquote atheist, right? So I'm in the chat and I'm asking them, is theism common in African culture? Is that what y'all saying? Are y'all saying that theism is a consensus in Black African culture? And they agreed. And as you just heard, he agreed again, and he specifically made a claim about Olodumare. I said that Olodumare, the god of the Yoruba, the supreme deity of the Yoruba people, does not interfere and intervene in the life and earthly affairs of human beings. He disagreed. So he asked for a source. As I'm looking for a source, he plays a song, a read a book song, some ignorant stuff. You know what I'm saying? And which he did the same exact thing to Sean. Sean jumped off when he did that. He felt disrespected, and I understand. I stayed on because I didn't want to let him get away that easy. So I stayed on, and once the song was done, I'm like, okay, now that we got that out the way, can I get an answer to my question? Can I get a source? Can I get something? Rather than dealing with the actual issue at hand, after the song, once I asked him this question, he kicked me off. He kicked me off. So what they're trying to do is control the narrative, and I refuse. I refuse, bro. You're not gonna lie on African culture. You're not going to. I understand if you don't know about African culture, if you're not familiar with African culture, but you're not gonna lie on African culture and then try to control the narrative, bro. I'm not with that. So I'm gonna play the claim one more time, one more again.
So I mean, I'm just going off the data that I saw. Yeah, we know Sutek. The Su and Sutek is pseudo. I don't. This video ain't got nothing to do with that, and he come on here to troll. He come on here to troll. He lied about. Since you want some attention, I'm gonna give you some attention because this video had nothing to do with that. This brother came on here and said Olodumare was an example, wasn't a theist god.
Now y'all see my comment. Did that look like trolling? I mean, maybe you felt that way. That's cool. But if you don't want to deal with the information, just say you don't want to deal with the information. You kick me off of your platform. And now I come to tell you, hey, I'm going to deal with your claims. I'm going to address them later on today. And now I'm trolling. You boys is disingenuous, man.
That and he come on here to troll. He come on here to troll. He lied about. Since you want some attention, I'm gonna give you some attention because this video had nothing to do with that. This brother came on here and said Olodumare was an example, wasn't a theistic god because Olodumare doesn't deal with the people. Olodumare deals with the people. He interacts with his creation. Therefore, is a theist god. Okay.
Yeah, I get that. He interacts with his creation. Therefore, he is a theist god. Let's look up theism. Let's get that the definition. Where he's pulling his definition from is right here. Theism. Belief in the existence of a god or gods, especially the belief in one God as creator of the universe, intervening in it and sustaining a personal relationship with its creatures. That is key to this claim. Intervening in it, meaning the universe, the earth, and sustaining personal relations with his creatures. So that's the claim. Do we see this in Africa? Yeah, fool. Yeah, so first, I'm gonna take y'all to a source that the brother actually pulled up or referred to in our first altercation. Right? Olodumare, God in Yoruba belief and the theistic problem of evil. Right? I ain't gonna try that last time. You ain't gonna catch me slipping. All right, so let me blow this up. Let me make sure y'all can read this. Wow. Up, grandmoms said the woman is God. Yeah, let me blow this up a little bit so y'all can see. Okay. And all the previous works, and this is page 2. We still at the beginning of the article, right? And all the previous works which have relevance to the Yoruba, to the religion of the Yoruba, the deity has been assigned a place which makes him remote, of little account in the scheme of things. Wait a minute. Let me rewind. And all the previous works which have relevance to the Yoruba, or to the religion of the Yoruba, excuse me, to the religion of the Yoruba, the deity has been assigned a place which makes him remote. Do we know what remote means? No, we ain't talking about that thing that you turn the channels with. It makes him distant, of little account in the scheme of things. Very few people who really know the Yoruba can escape the uneasy feeling that there is something inadequate, to say the least, about such a notion. It is the uneasy feeling that led to my investigation of what the Yoruba actually believe about the deity. Such a mistaken conception of the supreme being among the Yoruba is constant with the general attitude of the European colonialists who, out of ignorance, derive the culture, customs, religions, political organizations, science, commerce, etc., of the so called primitive peoples of the world. Such an attitude easily excuses and justifies their action in the subjugation and forceful appropriation of the colonies. So they saying white folks got to West Africa and they like, yo, y'all don't even rock with y'all God. Y'all supreme deity. Y'all don't even rock with him. That makes it easier for me to enslave y'all because y'all some savages. Surely, a people that supposes the supreme being to be a little higher than some other being, or puts him first among equals, must be inferior to those who place the deity above and beyond the level of the other beings entirely. Such people need assistance because the native says that he enjoys a life, he meaning the supreme being of the Yoruba, which would be Olodumare. The natives say that he enjoys a life of complete idleness. Do we know what idleness is? Do we know what idle is? And repose, do we know what that word is? Or do we have to look these words up too? I mean, if you feel the need to look these words up, or if you are unfamiliar with these terms, please do so, because it's too remedial for me to look up. And passes his time dozing or sleeping, since he is too lazy or too indifferent to exercise any control over earthly affairs. Since he is too lazy or too indifferent to exercise any control over earthly affairs, man on his side does not waste time in endeavoring to propitiate him, but reserves his worship and sacrifice for more active agents. Those more active agents, specifically in the Yoruba tradition, would be the Orisha. Right? So do we understand that? Do we understand that? Let's listen to the claim again. Maybe we don't. Hold on. Let's listen to the claim again.
So, I mean, I'm just going off the data that I saw. Yeah, we know Sutek. The Su and Sutek is pseudo. I don't. This video ain't got nothing to do with that, and he come on here to troll. He come on here to troll. He lied about. Since you want some attention, I'm gonna give you some attention because this video had nothing to do with that. This brother came on here and said Olodumare was an example, wasn't a theistic God because Olodumare doesn't deal with the people. Olodumare deals with the people. He interacts with his creation. Therefore, is a theist God. Okay.
He interacts with his creation. Therefore, he is a theist God, right? But Olodumare, God in Yoruba belief, and the theistic problem of evil by John, whatever his last name is, he feels different, dog. He feels different. So idleness, stagnation, no proactivity, deaf, dumb, and blind of the 85%. Yes. So that's right. Idleness. Hold on. Right. The definition of idle: avoiding working, avoiding work, lazy. These are not the passage that refers to him as idle and lazy and he dozing off. This is the Europeans relaying in their own interpretation of what they gathered from anthropological studies with the Yoruba people. You see what I'm saying? So should we continue on? Should we continue on? Let me see what else I got. If you would have simply this should have been your first stop, bro. If you're not familiar with Olodumare, if you're not familiar with the Yoruba, if you're not familiar with their system, then this should have been your first stop, right? Wikipedia is an excellent place to start. Olodumare, known as Olorun. Now, I have contention with that, but that ain't what we're here for right now. So it's one of the manifestations of the supreme creator, God in Yoruba religion. The name comes from the word Oni, Odu, and Mare, meaning the owner of the source of creation. The Yoruba believe that Olodumare is omnipotent and is the source of all. So we partially have the theistic concept down, but let's see what it says about the most important part of the theistic concept. Is this Kofi? Your devices ain't connected yet, Kofi, but I'll keep going to the Yoruba believe that Olodumare is an omnipotent and is the source of all. Olodumare is aloof. What does aloof mean? Aloof, not friendly or forthcoming, cool and distant. Aloof, not friendly or. What up, Kofi?
What up with it, man?
Yeah, man. So just going in on Olodumare. So the claim was that Olodumare deals with the people. He interacts in the life of the people. Now, this is the second source that I've shown to prove otherwise.
And that's just dealing with Oldemari. That's they claim that Oldemari has his hands in human affairs.
Yep. Well, see, the original claim was that theism is the consensus in African culture. I disagree with that. So we went to a specific culture in Africa, the Yoruba, and I said Olodumare does not deal with the people. That's a perfect example of what I'm talking about, and they disagreed. But
And
of
see,
course, they didn't have to show nothing though.
right, and then of course again that's um letting you know that people in this so-called conscious community don't know what the hell they talking about when it comes to African culture. And it doesn't even have nothing to deal with Old Demari. If you go, dang, and what did happen? Uh Sutek then got kicked out of here, but I'll just keep building until he get back in here. Cause I just jumped in here, so I'm trying to. There you go, right there. So we trying. Hold on.
Okay, I'm back.
All right. Can they y'all still hear me out there? Till he get his camera. I mean his thing connected. All right. There you go. My thing was tripping a little bit too. Sutek, you on?
Yeah, I'm back.
Yeah, yeah. But like I was saying, that goes back to my point that a lot of people in the so-called conscious community don't know a damn thing when it comes to African culture and African traditions or African way of life, or African customs. Even if you don't look at Odemari, you can go down to Ghana where you mentioned you mentioned the deity in Nigeria. Now, if you go down to Ghana and you look at the Akan people, the Ashanti people, and so forth, that deity doesn't deal with the human affairs neither. If you go way over there to Sierra Leone, not Sierra Leone, but you can go to Sierra Leone, deal with the Mindi people. You know what I'm saying? The Kono, the Kissi people over there. Even if you go in, you deal with the Sierra people in Senegal and Gambia. If you go down to deal with the Fon people down there in Togo and Benin, even if you go down into the Baganda people down in the Uganda in East Africa, you go to East Africa, you go to the Sudan, and you deal with the Kara people. You deal with the um um you deal with the Dinka people. You see if you deal with the Hamra people down there, their God does not have their hands in human affairs. If you look at the pantheon, a good example for people that can have, if you know, and it's a good discussion to have because in my chapter in my book, if nobody got the book, please go and get the book. Beautiful lessons about Kimoyo. This is the reason why I wrote the book is because people are spilling misinformation about African culture and they have no clue. So I break down each element was deal with kimoyo. Kimoyo is what people we've been calling African traditional religion or what we've been calling African spirituality. I say we must get away from both of those words. I talk about African spirituality and African traditional religion in the book and explain why we should get away from that. So I mentioned a few European names, especially when we deal with African traditional religion. You go look at Godfrey Paterday. You go look at 1954 and see where this term comes from. We have no agency over this word. We have no really agency over the word African spirituality. That's why we're for now on we trying to push Kimoyo. But even going back to Kimoyo, those different elements you look at the pantheon. In my chapter, I think it's in chapter 4. I don't feel like getting up and get my book, but I give you all of the deities from East, West, South, Central, and North Africa. I give you every deity name and what every country that these deities and the people that is connected to this deity. And I talk about I talk about the pantheon. I talk about the supreme deity. So I talk about when I talk about the supreme deity in Ghana, I talk about the Abunzums. The Abunzums are the lesser deities. You just talked about Odemari. Odemari has lesser deities, which is called the Orisha. If you look at the Igbo people, they got the Ilusis, which is the lesser people. You look at the Van people in Bhutan, they got the Vudans, which is the lesser deities. You look at the Sira people, they got the Pangu. You look at the Baganda people, they got the Olui. So these are lesser deities. God does not have his hands in human affairs. The lesser deities are the ones that has their hands in human affairs, and not only them, their ancestors. So when you start to study um 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 why they venerate their ancestors, why they revere their ancestors, why they do certain rituals so that their dead can be immortal and come back, because there's no such thing as rest in peace in African traditions, because ancestors have their hands in human affairs when they pass. So this is why we pour libations to the ancestors. This is why we do certain rituals for the ancestors. This is why we do certain sacrifices to the ancestors. This is the reason why we pray to the ancestors. This is the reason why we pray to the Orishas. This is the reason why we pray to the Elusis. This is the reason why we pray to the Buddha. This is the reason why we pray to the Abuzum. This is the reason why we pray to the Pangul. This is the reason why we pray to the Olui. This is why we do certain proverbs and certain rituals, is because they have their hands in human affairs. So we're praying for certain things. We praying for certain things. We praying that we won't be in danger. Or we doing certain rituals, so certain things that can happen to us, or certain blessings that we get. So God does not have his hands, or the supreme deity does not have his hands in human affairs. It is the lesser deities and the ancestors are the one that has their hands in human affairs, not the deities like the Western religion, where God has his hands in all human affairs. And also when it comes to African tradition, where Kimoyo, God or the supreme deity is not separated from his creation like the Western society religion. So people are always trying to compare Judaism, Christianism, Islam, and even some of those other Western religions with Kimoyo. And again, that is the reason why I wrote the book the way I wrote the book, where people can have a better understanding, because it is a lot of misinformation out here when it comes to African tradition. I'm not trying to be cocky, but we've been talking about this stuff for years. And on the mosque, we've been talking about this stuff for years, but nobody pays us attention, because we not acting crazy. We're not being stupid. We're not cussing people out. We're not challenging people, which we are challenging people. That's why we write books. My books is challenging the misinformation that's in the community. And that what those individuals that you talking about the supreme deity, that is misinformation that they are spreading when they trying to compare um the Western cosmology with African cosmology, which is similar in some but totally different.
Yeah, man, it's crazy that they said that. It's like you almost don't know nothing about African culture for you to even say something like that. It's specifically Yoruba culture for you to say that. Like you can say that there is some deities or some supreme beings in Africa that interact in the affairs of humans, but as I said, that's why I said the consensus, the majority of these African traditions are not like that. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
Exactly. It's not like that. And even with the people making a claim about atheism, you know what I'm saying? Some people don't have a supreme. When you go look at some of the people in Central Africa, you know what I'm saying? Even in East Africa, when you dealing with the people in the bush, a lot of those don't have a supreme being concept. You know what I'm saying? That supreme being is nature, nature within itself, within the bush. But that also goes back to uh, uh, any other African culture. When you look at the initiatory systems, the forest or the wilderness or things in nature is deified, especially things in the wilderness or in the bush. Every time you have an initiatory system, majority of those different ethnic groups, where they go into the bush, they go into the sacred grove, they go into the sacred forest, because it is sacred. But you have, and so that place is deified. It is sanctified for them to do their rituals. I even talk about that in my book. I talk about the sacred places within the sacred places, and why these places are deemed sacred, and why you can only go to these certain places like the bush, or to the river, or to the lake, or to on the mountains. When you look at Kilimanjaro, you look at the mountain. I mean, the mountain in Kenya with the Kikuyu people. So again, a lot of people, just like I said, they just don't understand African culture, and they're always trying to compare African culture with Western philosophy, with Western religion. And that's why, you know what I'm saying, I'm just keep throwing it out there. That book is a good book for somebody to have, because these discussions that we repeatedly having over and over, I break down and explain, and well sourced. The book is well sourced. So, you know, now with these conversations, like, we can go straight to my book and we can use the information from my book and the sources from my books. You know what I'm saying? Some of it is my opinion. A lot of it I give proper source information. That's why when you said that thing, I said, shit, man, I already talk about that. I deal with that. That's why I screenshotted a couple of pages and showed you just a couple of pages. But that was just a couple of pages when I got an entire chapter that deals with that, when we talking about the supreme deals, and we talking about you talking about the lesser deities, you know, and dealing with the ancestors. So, you know, like I said, man, it just, man, like I said, I don't pay a lot of these people um any attention out here, man, because like I said, man, they don't know what they talking about. Half of them don't know what they talking about. It's just misinformation, man. And it's crazy. And this same topic of what you talking about with theism, and the same topic with the supreme deities having their hands in human affairs. This same topic gonna come up. Did those brothers even mention the lesser deities? Did they even mention those?
No.
See, in Western religion doesn't have lesser deities. They don't have lesser deities. And even when if you study some of the African cosmologies, some of the lesser deities have a lot to do with the creation. It ain't just God Himself. It's some
Yep.
of the lesser deities that take place in the creation as well.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's my point. They never mention the lesser deities. They never mention the ancestors. They never mention none of that. You know, it's crazy because you just mentioned the Khan, and I'm gonna do this because I mean it's so easy, bro. If you don't know nothing, Wikipedia can easily be your first stop.
And again, just like he just said, he said your first stop. Don't let Wikipedia be your end all be all. But you can start with Wikipedia and then wake your way up. But yeah, you can go with some of these pseudos. You can go straight to Wikipedia and let Wikipedia beat them up real quick.
Yeah, man. Wikipedia it has sources. Okay, it says the Akan religion comprises the traditional beliefs and religious practices of the Akan people of Ghana and the Eastern Ivory Coast. Akan religion is referred to as Akom.
Mm-hmm.
Although most Akan people have identified as Christians since the 20th century, Akan religion remains practiced by some and is often syncretized with Christianity. The Akan have many subgroups, including the Fanti, Ashanti, Akuapem, the Wassa, the
Mm-hmm.
Bron, the Anyi, and the Bule.
Mm-hmm.
So the religion varies greatly by region and subgroup, similar to traditional religions of West and Central Africa, such as West African Voodoo, Yoruba religion, what we were just talking about, and Odinani. Akan cosmology consists of a senior god who generally does not interact with humans, and many gods who assist humans. So
Mm-hmm.
that break it down right there. The
Right.
lesser deities is
Right.
assisting the humans.
Right. And I just named a bunch of lesser deities. You know what I'm saying? So all you got to do is just go study the cosmology of those groups, and you will see exactly what we talking about. You don't have to take our word for it, but we telling you, we wouldn't be telling you if we didn't know. A lot of times we not gonna open our mouth up to speak if we don't know what we're talking about. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times we not gonna write about things if we don't know what we talking about. Not saying that we don't make mistakes, but if we do make mistakes, we know how to humbly go back and correct our mistakes. You know what I'm saying? And humbly say that we make mistakes. But you know, we've been studying this stuff for a while. And like I said, man, we've been talking about this over and over and over and over again. And that lets me know that a lot of people doesn't pay us no attention. Well, it's on the Mossy or what is over here with Kofi Paisai TV. Nobody listen to what we have to what we have to say. And we've been talking about these things for years. And when people, make these outlandish claims, you know what I'm saying? People don't even say, hey, well, shoot, go over here. Let me shoot you a video. Let me shoot you a link. You know what I'm saying? The Marcia Kofi Paisai research team, they don't deal with it. Or shoot, let me shoot you a link to one of their various publications where they talk about these things in here, man. You can go look at it yourself. And the books are very sourced up. These guys having 50 and 60 sources in their books. So they sourced up too. You know what I'm saying? So they kind of should know what they're talking about because they've been talking about this stuff ever since uh 2017. And you can go back, if people don't believe me, you can go back to the very first video on here, Kofi Paisai TV in 2017 in its conception. And you can see where I deal with West African culture. You know what I'm saying? And you can see where the team was formed and we deal with it on a day-to-day basis. So go to the Masi Warrior Clan. You can see, well, we got various videos up, maybe 300 and some videos up. Well, we deal with West Africa and particularly, but we also venture off into East Africa. We venture off into Central Africa. We venture off into Central. I love Central Africa because when you look at majority of us African Americans, majority of us come from predominantly most of us come from West Africa, but there was some that was from Central Africa that also was kidnapped and brought here. Not as much as in West Africa, but you had Central Africans that was brought here to this diaspora as well, what we call North America. But also East Africa, if we go back and we study East Africa, what I started dealing with East Africa more is because most of us, when we go and trace our lineage, most of us, our families come through the great Bantu migration. So when you like my family comes from the Bantu migration, they come, like I said, I say this all the time. My mother comes from out of my mother's family comes, they migrated out of the east into Ghana. They migrated from Uganda into Ghana. My father migrated from Kenya into Nigeria. So they come from that lineage. And then when you look at my man, what you call haplogroups, you can see where my haplogroups began to mutate. So I started going back. Oh, okay, they come from out of these different regions. So most of our families migrate from out of out of East Africa, that Bantu migration. They ended up in West Africa for centuries and centuries. You know what I'm saying? And then, through via the Atlantic slave trade, majority of us and our families ended up in the Caribbean, Central, South, and North America. So, but yeah, man, it's just crazy, man. That, like I said, people just, and I'm just a talking, bro. I ain't mean I'm come on here and I just done took the whole show.
Nah, you good. You good. You give me a chance to go into these pull up these other sources.
Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? And then over here, like, like say, we sourced up, man. We like sourced up. We just not gonna even just, talk. We ain't just gotta talk about it. You know what I'm saying? We gonna talk about it, and then we gonna source up. The source is gonna validate what we actually is saying. But a lot of this stuff we can go straight off the top of the dome with it because we've been studying it for so long.
Yep. Nah, let me go to this. This is African mythology from encyclopedia.com, and we're gonna go on down because we only looking for a specific topic: core deities and characters. African mythologies include supernatural beings who influence human life. Some of these beings are powerful deities or gods. Others are lesser spirits, such as the spirits of the ancestors. Deities most African traditional religions have multiple gods, often grouped together in family relationships. Nearly every culture recognizes a supreme god, an all-powerful creator who is usually associated with the sky. Various West African peoples refer to the highest god as Amma or Olorun, while some East Africans use the name of Malugu Africans who have adopted Christianity or Islam sometimes blend the supreme deity of those faiths with the supreme deity of the traditional African religion and mythology. And
Yeah,
we'll
that
close.
Arma and Olaroon, they talking about the Dogon people in Mali, and they talking about the Yoruba people in Nigeria,
Nigeria.
because
Yep,
those words can also resort to the word sky.
exactly. In most African religions, the supreme god is distant, is a distant being no longer involved in day-to-day human life. People rarely call on this deity. Instead, they address lesser gods, many of whom have distinct functions. The Yoruba people of Nigeria, for example, worship a storm god, Shango, who controls thunder and lightning. The number of gods and goddesses vary from culture to culture. We ain't even got to go that far. So I'm gonna read that one more
They
time.
talking about my people though, right there. The Baganda,
Cool.
I mentioned them a while ago. Those people are in East Africa. That's in Uganda.
Oh, yep. East Central
Mm-hmm.
Africa. They have 20 or more deities. Yep. But yeah, let me read. Let me make sure they got this. In most African religions, the supreme god is a distant being who is no longer involved in day-to-day human life.
Hey,
People
stop right
rarely
there.
call.
Stop,
Okay.
stop right there. Okay, when it's saying that, it says in most African religions, the supreme God is a distant being no longer involved. That now we looking at the word no longer. Now, when you go and look at some of the cosmology stories, which that's the creation stories, right? So when you look at some of those, at first you had some of the deities that was involved with human affairs, but then they did the humans or creation did something to the deity and he distanced himself. Because when you look at the Yoruba, if you look at the Yoruba, if you look at the Igbo culture, if we look at the Ganda culture, if you look at the culture in Baganda, even if you look at the voodoo or the Voodoo culture in Togo, you will see like with some of their creation stories, God or their supreme deity was on earth. And
Mhm.
then even if you look at North Africa with the Remich, you know what I'm saying? The Remich of the Kemoto did something to, which is his creation, the people did something to Ra, and Ra distanced himself from man. You know, and then he sent Heharu, his daughter, to take vengeance on the people. That's why Heharu started doing certain things, you know what I'm saying, and started killing people, started killing the humans. This is a mythology story, of course. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying this real. This is all mythos. This is a mythological story that has been told. But those are various stories or various mythological stories that is told in these different traditions. I deal with that. Also in my book, I deal with me. I got a whole chapter that deals with mythos or mythology, that deals with folk tales and deal with folklore. So I talk about a lot of this stuff and deal with a lot of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? So people can understand also that this is mythology. So the mythology, I'm breaking down the point I'm trying to get to break down is we studying the psychology of the people and why they come up with these certain creation stories about certain things, even why they do certain things with their rituals. Even going back when we talk about the a controversial topic when we deal with female circumcised, and
Mm.
why the Dogon people and look at the clitoris in a certain type of way, and how they involve that ritual of snipping the clitoris off or circumcising the woman because of certain things that went on in the environment. You know what I'm saying, that deals with that psychology. So a lot of the mythos, the folk tales, the folklores, it deals with, things that went on in the vibe, that the people's psychology. So, but yeah, you can go ahead, but I just wanted to break that down because that word up there says no longer, just in case people miss the word. So when you see that word no longer, then it must at one time that these deities, and not all of them, some of these deities was on earth according to the mythology of the people. And the humans or his creation did something to the creator, and you know what I'm saying, dishonored the creator, and he moved back into the sky. So he separated, where he didn't separate himself from creation, but he just moved far away, or he moved far distant, as what the text is saying is here. Text is saying here, he moved distant from his creation. So his lesser deities and the people who died, because even the people that in African tradition that dies, there is a proper ritual that takes place during the funerary rites, and this certain thing that happened during the funerary rites, it makes your person immortal. Well, now your ancestors can now come. Your ancestors can now help their family or humans, human affairs, and assist with the lesser deities.
Yeah, man. And like you said, they use a lot of those cosmologies to explain why these deities are distant.
Exactly.
Like, so again, let me say, in most African religions, the supreme God is a distant being no longer involved in day-to-day human life. People rarely call on this deity. Instead, they address lesser gods, many of whom have distant or distinct functions. The Yoruba people of Nigeria, for example, worship a storm god Shango, who controls thunder and lightning. So these lesser gods is the ones that's intervening in human life and earthly matters,
Mm-hmm.
not the supreme deity.
Mm-hmm. That's a fact.
So these guys do not mention these lesser deities. They don't mention the ancestors. They don't mention the function of not like you just talking. Let
And
me
that's
see.
crazy. And that's what I say. That's dangerous. People are just talking just to be talking, man.
And disingenuous about it, won't admit that you're wrong. Instead, you'll try to uh kick me off the show, or play music over what I'm trying to get across. Like, that's just disingenuous.
Yeah, and bad character.
Yep.
Bad character.
So the Dias Otiosis. I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right, but Latin is not my language. The Latin term Dies Otiotis, meaning literally God at leisure or God without work, denotes a God who has withdrawn or retired from active life. The paucity of detailed descriptions of these deities, when coupled with their widespread appearance in cultures around the globe, presents a puzzle for the study of religions. Although the outline of these divine personalities is usually sketchy, they maintain a firm hold on the religious imagination. The study of gods who have retired from their arena of activity has provoked deep reflection on the meaning and functions of symbols, especially of divine forms in religious life. And now we get into where they discuss African religions, African cultures. Many African creation myths involve Otiotis, recount how the divine sky lay flat on the earth at the beginning of time. Nuba and Dogon myths, for example, describe how the chafing of the sky against the earth stunted human growth and disrupted normal routines of work. In particular, women could not pound their grain without knocking against the sky. So close relations finally ended when the sky's anger at the annoyed blows of the women's pestles caused it to withdraw from the earth. So we just talked about that, and this is a creation story or creation myth that is explaining why the god of um, the Dogon is distant from the people. The women were pounding their grain. The sky was closer to the earth. The women were pounding their grain so loud that it annoyed the supreme being, and he became distant. This is an example of what we were just explaining, that these creation myths explain why these deities are distant. It ain't just, oh, they distant, we don't rock with them. You know what I'm saying? So let me see.
Exactly, and that the example that you give is mostly some of the same examples when you look at some of the other cosmologies as we explained earlier. The golden apple changing
Yep.
the structure of civilization.
From Earth. Let me see. In other African societies, such as the Nyarwanda and the Rundi of Central Africa, the creator god lived with the first people at the beginning of time, or the first people lived in the sky with the god. For one reason or another, the god moved away from the company of his creatures, upstream, downstream, to a mountain, or to the sky. So again, they're explaining why these deities and how these deities became distant. These brothers do not mention none of this. They don't mention it. They don't explain it. They don't. They don't account for it. They don't. They don't correct their mistakes. So the
Yep,
supreme.
that's sad. What's the name? So I just put the link back in there too, man. For anybody, man, like a lot of this stuff that we talking about. Like I said, I deal with this in my book, Beautiful Lessons About Kimoyo. Go get your copy, man. And if anybody, the first 2 or 3 people to get a copy of the book tonight, I'll send them a $400 PDF book that also deals with some of this stuff that we talks about. A $400 PDF book. It's $400 if you get it from off of Amazon.com right now. But you know what I'm saying? But I'm saying we deal with a lot of this stuff. What's the name? He said something in here. I was trying to you look at his Alafia, you still in here? Let me know if you still in here, Alafia. If you still in here, we can kind of I guess we can kind of talk about it just real quick. He put something in here, and I didn't want him to think that we was looking over what he said. I think somebody else made a comment too, and I was
They
trying to
said
go back.
build on Okay, so he asked him, was the Baole people or tribe have anything to do with the Masonic lodge of the Boule?
Brother. uh I have honestly no clue, but when you deal with um Masonic lodges, and I'm speaking from experience because I've been a traveling Mason. Uh, I've been an active Mason. I've been a Mason for 15 years. I've been a traveling Mason for 13 years. I was a worship master, meaning I had my own lodge. I was the head of the lodge. I was a high priest in the Royal Lodge degree, which means I received more degrees in the 3rd degree. I got all the way up to the 32nd degree. Uh, and also I could have went and got my Memphis right, which kind of deals with Egypt. When we look at Hekapata, which is Memphis, Egypt. I could have got my Memphis right. I could have went from the 32nd all the way up to the 60th degree because of the level that I was on. But even if you go back and you look at an article, I wrote an article. I ain't remember the name of the article because we writing all the time. And I don't know if I ended up putting in one of my volumes or not, but I talk about those secret societies. And when you look at those secret societies, and even when you look at the Masonic Hall, the Masonic lodges structures is the same as the secret societies are. When we talk about initiatory rites and certain things people have to go to receive suitable proficiencies in these preceding degrees before they're able to move forward in other different degrees. And we can see where some of these Masonic lodges copy a lot of these African initiatory systems. You know what I'm saying? Whether you look at stuff dealing with the Prince Hall, um, those different African people, the people in the first Masonic Lodge in Boston, but a lot of people connect the major Grand Lodge with the Grand Lodge of England and the Grand Lodge of Scotland that united, but these lodges united and then kept out the black folk. They didn't want the black folks really involved in it until you start to see Prince Hall later on come on the scene. But if you in masonry and then you study some of the secret societies, like if you study the Bondo Society with the female group, if you study with the Mendes people, you study the uh oh man, I got so much going on my mind, I can't even figure. Matter of fact, I'm finna pull it up real quick for the people. So I mean, pull it up so we can see uh some of these secret societies that I wrote about. I'm trying to see, did I write? Is it in one of those, in one of our books, man? That I put that in? I might have didn't, man. I
I,
would
I
be
think
right.
so. I think so. I think it might have been in either volume 1 or volume 2.
Man, I ain't no telling. Ain't no telling. But there's so many different secret societies. Hold on, Kofi Paisai. I'm gonna go to my blog site. I hadn't wrote nothing in there in a while. Ain't no need of me writing none on reading compositions. Hold on. Let me go over here. There we go. Let's go in here. I'll share my screen just to say, well, I might as well go and share my screen now. Let me share my screen. Am I allowed to share my screen, sir?
Go ahead.
Hold on, I'm gonna pull up something. I don't know what. Okay. Am I sharing my screen?
Yeah, that is.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know. I'm back here in this room, man, and I normally be at my desk, man, but I'm back here in the room trying to relax. And this damn internet is kind of moving slow, kind of maybe because I got 1,000 damn windows open too. Okay, there you go.
Yep,
I'm
there it
working.
is.
All right, hold on. All right, let me go in here. Yeah, I can go check some of these articles out I got in here, man. Kofi Pie Rigging Composition, WordPress.com. This is a blog site I had while I was writing articles. This is for the books. Yeah, let's see if it's gonna let me pull it up. My site. Hold on, I guess it's gonna let me pull it up. it might not. Hold on, okay, there you go. I'm gonna say it might not because it was crazy. Everybody's got a free version. I got I had the paid version. I stopped paying for it. Okay, let's see. Okay, secret societies. Here it is. Secret societies and their purpose in Africa. I even break down the purposes of secret societies because people don't understand the purpose of a sin. And I'm talking about the secret societies in Africa. I'm not talking about the secret societies uh, in North America, anywhere else. I'm talking about right here. So I talk about a lot of these secret societies. I give like a lot of pictures too. Let me see. Here go a picture if y'all can see. I'm not lying. I go me with the crown on my head. I got the square on my head. For people that may know what this square represents, but I have a square on my head. I got the hat on. I don't have a top hat. I ain't had my top hat on. I had the one with the square. That me in the middle. This is the lodge that I was over. Again, I've been a Mason for 15 years. I've been an active traveling Mason for 13 years. I hadn't been active in the last 2 years. But here go one society, the Abaku Society. This is one society here in West Africa. Let's see, with another Egbe Society. A lot of people ought to know about the Egbe Society. Right here, we done talked about the Egbe Society. Sean done talked about the Egbe Society. I done talked about the Egbe Society. I think Ben got a whole presentation on the Egbe Society. These are secret societies. I'm not gonna read. You got the Abani Society. There's one society right there. You got the Okan Khan Society. They're right there. Like I said, you got the Bundo, which is the Women's Society. But you know, we got the version of them of the Masonic, the traveling men. You got the Eastern Stars. You know what I'm saying? what is it? Fatal Forever Together, all together. I don't forgot. It's been so long since our men can be not a member. A man can can be a part of the Eastern Star as well. This is the Yasi Society. This is another female society. You got the Poro, which I was just escaped my mind. This is the Poro Society in Sierra Leone with the Mindy. It's an offset of the Sunday of the Bondo Society. You got and I'm not finna read all of this stuff, but those were some of the societies. You got the Chewy Secret Society. Where I put a whole video down here. If you good presentation I did. I think we like at 15K or something on that 11K, might be 11K on that video. That was a good video. I had more on here, but this is a good read if people want to go and understand the purpose of these secret societies and what they did within their own community, which was very um important. It has to do with mythological things, but a lot of it had to do with reality, things that go on in the community, the function of the community, morale of the community. You know what I'm saying? The Leopard Secret Society was another one. I missed that one. Am I still on? I don't. Y'all
Yeah,
hear me?
yeah,
Okay, yeah,
your
man. I
screen
saw my
stopped
damn.
sharing, but you still on though.
Yeah, I stopped sharing, but yeah, I just wanted to show some of those secret societies, and people can go read about that. That whole thing. I wasn't finna go through it. He says, Kofi, are you
Yeah, you
equipped
breaking
with
up
the
too.
hands? Hold on. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you good now. Yep, volume 3.
Yeah, man.
That's what you wrote. You wrote secret societies and their purpose in Africa. Second chapter.
Okay, well, there y'all have it. Y'all can go get that in volume 3, and I expound and go a little bit deeper. I added more secret societies and a little bit more information. She says, Kofi, are you equipped with the hands of the goon, and are you able to practice as a Bible luau? Kofi, yes, my grandfather schooled me on how blacks were excluded from white lodges. Are you equipped with the hands of Ogun, or are you able to practice? No, I'm not able to practice as a Babaluau. I am not an initiate into a Sheshe. I'm not an initiate in any um, African uh, African um, tradition. I'm not, but that does not qualify me and validate me for certain things. Certain things I may not know because I'm not initiated, but a lot of
You
stuff
still breaking out a
on
little
the
bit.
surface, man, I don't know what's going on, man. I don't know. Hold on, man. I hate to get up and go. And that ain't with all that noise. Can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, you good. Yeah, you ain't don't worry about it because shit, I gave their ass enough. I was gonna give them one more, but man, that's shit. I gave their ass enough. I keep that one in the chamber in case they or somebody else got something to say about the issue. I don't want to make this. I don't want to make it too long anyway. So yeah, man, we rocked out for an hour. And if anybody else has any questions on the matter, please feel free to hit us up with Kofi Pie Research Team on Facebook. That's the like page. Oh, here goes Sean. So go on to get it is.
I can't stand that dude, bro.
Yeah, my bad, Swoop Take. I had to
Yeah, you still
make
breaking
me an
up though.
intro video. I had to make me an intro song, man, to my channel and all that. You know what I'm
That
saying?
dude, bro, I swear,
I
bro.
gonna make my own. I had to go make my own shit. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
Cause Cause you know, when somebody needs something done for them, you know what I'm saying? I did it for them. You know, not
And
once,
I
not
do
twice,
you
not 3 times, not 4 times, not 5
me.
times, not 20
You ain't
times,
asked
not
me.
100 times.
Bro, you ain't asked me. You ain't asked me nothing, bro. I don't know
I gotta ask you.
bro. I called you earlier.
I gotta ask you. I ain't answered
called you
because
earlier.
I ain't answered.
I'm
I
done
was
calling.
busy. I was busy.
I'm done calling.
I was busy trying to listen to Sute.
But I tell you,
Why,
everybody, for the
anyway,
record, this is for the record. And then I'm gonna let you go
like,
in for the record.
oh
When
my
I
God,
see Sean, I'm gonna see Sean before this year out in person.
I'm
And
gonna
when I
fade
see
him.
Sean in
We
person,
gonna be live on
I'm
YouTube.
gonna
I'm gonna
give
kick
him the
his
pumpkin
ass.
head. I'm gonna
I'm
give him
gonna
the
kick.
pumpkin head.
Hey, I'm gonna kick his ass and buy him a whole new outfit. I guarantee y'all gonna see it right here on Kofi Potside TV. It's gonna be live.
Yeah, it's gonna be live because I'm gonna embarrass you. And then I'm gonna go buy him dinner. I'm gonna dust him off and we
Yeah,
gonna
all
go
right.
eat on me.
We gonna see who gonna have on a new outfit.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna have to get his hair done again, cause I know he gonna have it dying now.
Nah, I ain't dying no more right now. I'm cool.
All right, so Akbar, I am Akbar. I don't know what that say, but you got the old make head on your icon that let me know you pseudo. But what up, Omar Black African Power 93? What's good? Nikki, how you doing? Peace and Lafayette Nee. Miss Trimmins, peace, TK, Kenyame, EIE, what up? Matt, brother Mathis, Queen and Nzinga, what up? What's good? What's happening? Pure Black. Pure ain't got no jokes today. I see the number one troll in the chat. I should have kicked her out. Dave B, what up? Spin Barrel, what's good? Keenan. Anyway, as I was about to say, the book that you're referring to, Edgar J. Ridley. Sutek, watch this. Sutek, can you pull up Edgar J. Ridley for us real quick, please? Put it on the screen. Kofi, somebody, can y'all share y'all screen? Pull that name up.
Sutek, you still on there? I tried. If Sutek won't, man,
What you mean you a trash? Sutek,
I'm back here in his other room, man. The internet, man.
That's fine. You can go on mute. You can go on mute and just pull up the dang on thing, man. You be trying to come on here and cut your camera on you. You ain't got enough bandwidth. AT&T trash.
Hold on, I'm finna do it now. Me mute myself. Edgar who?
Edgar J. Ridley. Man, this jacket stink. Boy, ain't nothing like running with a jacket on, boy. You get that good sweat.
And Edgar J. Ridley, that is R-I-D-L-E-Y.
Yeah. Pull them up. Put them on the screen for us, please.
Hold on, I'm pulling up somebody else. I'm pulling up look like a black woman, bro.
Okay, the name is, let me get to you again. Edgar, E-D-G-A-R.
Right.
J.
Right.
J is the middle initial, and then Ridley. R-I-D-L-E-Y.
R-I-D-L-E-Y.
Well, we can't see your screen, so I can't help you.
Okay, hold on. Let me share my screen.
Golly. You got COVID again? Shit.
Edgar J. Ridley. Yeah, they do got a picture of a black lady right here.
Yeah, I told them that's what I'm seeing.
Come on, man. Put it on the screen, y'all. Quit playing with me. Put it on the screen.
I'm sharing that. Hold on.
All right, so do this.
All right, you see my
since
screen?
y'all.
Go ahead. Tell me what you want me to do.
Okay, so pull this up. Symbolisms. Hold up. Symbolisms Revisited. Pull that book up. Somebody, one of y'all. It don't even matter who do that. One of y'all keep Jay Ridley up though.
Symbolisms Revisited.
Okay, you gonna pull it up?
Yeah.
All right. Now you got Edgar J. Ridley pulled up. Right there, you go. Right there. 2001. Go to the wiki page, please. Scroll down. Right here. We stay on Edgar J. Ridley. Just scroll down.
You talking about me or Sutek?
Yeah, whoever's sharing this,
You
sharing?
I'm
Kofi.
saying. Okay,
Okay,
you gonna go down to where?
if you sharing Kofi, scroll down. I want to see if we can get to the wiki page. Okay.
No.
Nope. So go to the top. Go to the top. Take symbolism out. Take symbolism out, and put wiki in there. Just put in wiki. There you go. Boy, you're gonna have to go to a technical class. Hit enter. Golly.
What you think I did, old pumpkin head ass boy?
Man, scroll down, man. You ain't even getting no real hits.
Sure ain't. Okay,
Go to
that's
about.
something else. That's
Just go to about. Just go to about. It's go up just a little bit. It's above. There you go. You see where it says wiki? Go back down. Go all the way back down. Go back down. Okay, you see where it said wiki? Go back up. Go back up. You see where it says Gillian Flynn? You see that?
right here.
Okay, go above that. It says about us. Edgar J. Ridley.
Okay, right
My
here.
pseudo was just tingling.
Golly, man.
He said something about Gerald Massey and Carl John.
Who did?
Oh,
I am that boss?
This book, this Symbolism Revisited.
Yeah. So what's this? This about us, right? Okay, now hold on. Now you're going too fast. The people in the chat can't keep up with you. And now it says what? Hold on, let me zoom in. Cause if I can't get you to read it, you gonna F it up. Our platform, the Ridley approach, is vastly different from traditional consulting firms. The focus of Edgar J. Ridley and Associates. This ain't the right one.
Mm-hmm.
Hold up. No. It is. Scroll down. Ah, shit.
Oh, I'm gonna have to go back now.
Man, what the hell? Why you? Man, check your email. God dang. You too grown, man. You work from home, man. Be having all them damn emails. All right, so stop. It says the symptomatic blah 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 Edgar blah 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 symbolic thinking. Okay, all right. So the symptomatic thought process is the key to the problems facing today's civilization because it eradicates decisions based on mythology and superstitious behavior. The absence of these behavioral components ushers in qualitatively better world. Symbolic thinking goes hand in hand with mythological thinking. Thinking symptomatically means thinking non-symbolically, or seeing things without attaching connotations. In short, thinking symptomatically means seeing things as they really are. By doing this, we eradicate the need to mythologize as we experience the ultimate qualitative. The focus of Edgar J. Ridley and Associates is on teaching clients how to achieve the eradication. The only way to eradicate symbolic thinking is to think symptomatically. African governments must be responsible for blah, 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 blah. Hold on. Stay right here. Sutek, share your screen real quick. You got that book pulled up?
Yep.
Hold on, let me stop. I'm gonna stop sharing.
Alright, let me see.
Kofi talking about they loud, but he the loudest one in the house. We don't even hear nobody else.
Cause I'm back in his room. Back in.
You back in the other room. Blah blah blah. All right. Hey, on the right hand side, that's just Goodreads. I want you to go to the okay. Click on the Goodreads, please. Please click on the Goodreads. Come on now. Let's put it for the people on the screen. Now, Sutek.
Yep.
Stop. It's two names that I see on here that are occultists and a part of a Rosicrucian society. Gerald Massey and Carl Jung. If you go to Asar Imhotep's page, I post Carl Jung. Why did I post that? Because Asar was talking about energy. And Carl Jung is one of those people that are proponents of feminine and masculine energy, right? This misinterpretation of things. These are the people that are responsible for miseducating the community that we claim to be a part of or affiliated with. Also, can you go to the cover of the book?
All right.
Stop laughing, goddamn Kofi.
Yeah, then let me pull it up. Hold on, let me go back.
Hey, we need to make a list of all these white occultists.
Yeah, we do. They have a heavy influence on it. And what's
Yep.
bad is black people are not cross-referencing these people. Why? Because it's something that sounds good that they can promote. Can you make that real big for the people? I want them to be able to see all the symbolisms on the book cover. No. Just click on the image and see if you can get it, make it bigger.
If that a funnel on top of his head,
Just hold on, Kofi. Kofi, just hold on. You just hold on. Hey, just you might as well go to Amazon.com and then when you pull up your Amazon, click on the image.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Okay, yeah, that'll be better.
Damn.
Boom. Here we go. Oh, it's a different one.
Yeah, that's a different version. See if you
Nah, that's
here
hey,
we
there you
go.
go.
That's it
There you
right
go.
there.
Yeah, there you go. Shit, I wouldn't get them motherfucker $5 for this book. Okay, we getting somewhere. All right, now look at the symbols on the book. Do y'all see anything that look African to y'all? Come on, Kofi. Come on.
I don't see nothing.
But look, scroll down on the picture to the bottom where it look like a dude's face.
I can. Oh, wow.
You see
It's
Africa in there, right?
It's the continent in there. They's pouring these
Nope.
symbols into the. Okay.
Okay, but if you see the symbols that they're pouring into it, you see the cross.
Right. You see the 6
All right.
point star.
So
you
they
see the
telling you
six-
what they doing. They pouring that bull. They pouring that BS into the mind of African people. That's crazy.
Yeah, damn.
All right, I am Akbar. No, I have not read the book. Anyone who references Gerald Massey or Carl Jung, I will not read the book because I will be pissed off, and then I will be looking for you to give me back my money. Now, if you want me to read the book, my Cash App is $KSLP 1020. Send me $20, and I will order the book. But you have to buy the book for me to read the book. And I promise you, I will read the book as soon as it comes in the mail. I will set aside my credentialed work to deal specifically with this book. And then I will have you come back on the show and I will deal with it. There is an issue here from the cover of the book and the source and the references in the book at the onset of the book. Anytime someone relies on Gerald Massey and Carl Jung, I already know what they're about to argue, bro. We've been doing this for far too many years, and we've been going too far with this research to know what we're about to partake in. This is why I wanted somebody to pull up Edgar J. Ridley, because I wanted to make sure that we know the author. I didn't say not know the author. We need to know the author.
Brother, I am Akbar. I'm a little bit more calmer than my brother. He's not trying to disrespect you. All he's saying is, like, look at those names. If you understand the names that is attached to those books, then you will understand why he's saying what he's saying. He's not gonna touch it. He's not gonna waste his money and spend his money reading. And then another thing is, when you pick up a book, are you cross-referencing the sources yourself? Are you using proper methodology? Are you doing comparative analysis when you're reading these books? You know what I'm saying? We have to start doing those things. We have to start using proper methodology. We have to start citing. We have to start looking at these sources and stuff that we read, and we have to research and say, okay, well, who is this source that they cite? Who is this stuff that they? Who is this fellow? Who is this sister that they're citing? So once you see what General Massey was on, once you see what this other fellow was on, or see who they was connected to, then you will understand why we wouldn't spend 75 cents for this book. You understand? So it don't mean that we don't have to read it because we already know they finna come with this occultist talk. You know what I'm saying? And most of the stuff that you hear or regurgitated in the so-called conscious community is coming from a lot of these occultists.
Yeah, they using. I'm not sure why this book was brought up, but the author is using people who basically are the progenitors of the New Age movement. The New Age movement is a movement that took a whole bunch of traditions and aspects of different cultures and combined them all together and made a big gumbo. Like that's nothing about anything coming from these people is traditional at all. And maybe you might be comfortable with reading everything, but we prefer to protect our mental faculties. So we not gonna invest the time, the energy, or the effort into reading something from an author that's sourcing people that we know is BS. That's all.
Hey, pull that link, the private chat link up. I don't care who grab it and put it on the screen. But this goes back to what this gives. This is what I'm saying. This stuff like this gives credence to blackology.
You mean
So
link to the panel?
now I put in the private chat right here in the StreamYard. My bad, in the StreamYard chat. I put a private chat link. Pull that link up right there. Put that on the screen.
All right.
I'm sharing my screen, man.
Now my purpose is to know the author. So not to just, you know, throw you in the trash like that, but I want to know the author. You know what I mean? And I don't know if you're aware of how we research and things of that nature, but your source, the Edgar Riley, that older black man, he isn't the source. He refers to Gerald Massey and Carl Jung. They pushed the whole New Age movement ideology. So let's do this. The name of this article is Charlottesville, Confederate Statues, and the Deeper Dimensions of Symbolism. Now remember, everything that he talked about is symbolisms. You brought it up because of symbolisms. So the movement to remove the Confederate statues and renaming university buildings is the latest attempt to correct the wrongs of history. The current dialogue around the symbolism of the Confederate flag reminds us of the general lack of knowledge about the role of symbolism plays in our daily lives. The media's typical display of ignorance compounded by racism. Unfortunately, our educational institution has supplied a learning that is, as was stated by anthropologist Sheikh Antijo, the most monstrous falsification in history. Indeed, the falsification of African contribution to history has impeded progress in all academic disciplines. This led to the failure of our scientific community and university humanities department worldwide to develop solutions, leading to a crushing effect of every activity of human behavior proposition that would solve the current problems that we face, from healthcare to scientific research in all areas of studies, and being negated, mythologized, and totally eradicated from use simply because we have not had the courage to deal with the real issues of racism and how and why it occurs. Now, notice this is a line that he also used in the other article. Can you scroll down for me? It must be understood that the world is run on symbolic thinking. That symbolic thinking produces mythology. It sounds familiar to y'all? Ritual and superstition. So just to let y'all know, when I had Kofi pull up, is the same as what we're reading right now in the second paragraph. Ritual and superstition, which propels the symbolic behavior prevalent in today's world. I'm linking the gentleman, right? This older man. And he continues to talk about the removal of the Confederate flag. When man began to think symbolically, that was neurological misadventure of primordial man that caused symbolic behavior. Stop. Whoop, whoop. Scroll down a little bit. I'm on this third paragraph. Misadventure of primordial man. Where y'all think they came from?
The what now?
When he said that. The neurological misadventure of primordial man that caused symbolic behavior. This has damaged the relationship and fundamental behavior patterns of humanity since prehistory. Where do you think he got that from?
The only person I can think about is damn them two brothers, two European. I
Not,
can't,
no,
huh?
no, no. Just think about premortal man.
Yeah, them. That's when we think about premortal man. Oh, premortal man. That's what I think of. Those
Hmm.
two European brothers.
Scroll down, Sutek.
How you gonna? I'm still sharing.
Oh, okay. You sharing. Well, then scroll down then.
Hmm,
Now stop. No, go to the sources because the article ends pretty quickly.
okay.
Stop. Stop. Go back up. Go
Oh,
back
hold
up.
on.
Go
All
back
right,
up.
there it is.
All right. So Diop is a source. We seen that. Edward G. Whitmore, The Symbolic Quest, Basic Concepts of Analytical Psychology, is the second source. And then it says Edgar J. Ridley is the chairman of his own global consulting firm, Edgar J. Ridley and Associates. He is an author of a series, The Golden Apple, Changing the Structure of Civilization 1 and 2, right? And then he got, which is a study of symbolisms and its impact on civilizations. I mean, and in all, the reason that we're reading this is to qualify the first thing that we read, which is the same gentleman. Okay, so I don't want to confuse nobody in what I was actually trying to do because I was sitting here trying to find all this information on the person. But I'm not going to read a book about the guy Gerald Massey in it because Gerald. All right, so let me be more clear because Kofi wasn't clear. He said your understanding is weak. Everything you're saying when you have not read. I'm not. Look, I'm not even talking about the book. I'm talking about the sources in the book. Anytime you use Gerald Massey, if you use Gerald Massey or Carl Jung, you have outdated sources. So this is why I said I'm gonna stay away from the book because Gerald Massey is outdated and has been proven to be incorrect. He was wrong on the Tamahu. He was wrong on what he said about the ancient Remech. Gerald Massey didn't even transliterate and translate his own text when breaking down the Medu Neter. He relied on a whole nother person and took them at face value. Gerald Massey pushes the ideology of the Jesus Christ mythos, the Jesus and Heru mythos. I'm not going to read any of that because I know the laundry list of bull stuff that Gerald Massey is affiliated with. Carl Jung, another occultist that's a spiritualist. The only reason, brother, you introduce symbolisms to a conversation with scientifically literate people is to pass off pseudoisms. This is not a knock on you. It's just to show what level you're at and where I am in my studies. We're just not studying this on the same level. And that's not to discredit you at all, but that's just to show where we are because we've already been studying these people who have been infiltrating our scholarship or our mindset, right? Like George G.M. James has occultist Rosicrucian, the conscious community's leader, Madame Blavatsky in it.
Golden Dawn. And brother Akbar, man, please, brother Akbar. I am Akbar. I
I,
don't,
I ain't read the Bible.
bro. Please, you know what I'm saying. Um, at some point, we have to. We all do. We all take critique, and I know some people don't take critique well. My brother can be rude, but he hadn't been rude. He honestly, he hadn't been rude. You know what I'm saying? I think when people say pseudo and say pseudoisms, you know, people tend to get mad. I do too when I hear that word. I mean, that's a word. I think that's a word now that triggers a lot of people. So he wasn't trying to be disrespectful. He just trying to tell you and explain and elaborate why he wouldn't touch that book because of the certain people in the book that they sourced material from. He already know who these people are attached to, what their agenda are, and some of the false information that that they've been proven wrong on, and outdated information. Because if you go back, how far General Mass ago? When you go and pull up, I could go in my I don't feel like getting up. But Sean, how far General Massing works go back? 19
In the
what?
early 1900s.
Mm-hmm. Outdated information. So we have to evolve on the information. So it's not a slight. He said it's not a slight at you. He's just saying he's not going to waste his time or his money to read something when he already know the viewpoints, the stance of the of these certain people with this information. Like certain people that I know, if I see 2 or 3 sources about it, I'm not going to pick up the book and read it. I'm not going to pay my money for the book. That's why I think Sean and Sutek, I think
listen to this right here though, Kofi. Not since the work of Gerald Massey and Carl Jung, no other book has penetrated the world of symbolism like Ridley. Symbolism revisited notes of the symptomatic thought process. Really transcends Massey. Listen to what I'm saying. Really transcends Massey and Jung by offering the symptomatic thought process as an alternative to symbolic thinking. This book will radically change the way we see every academic discipline and will force us to look at our behavior patterns. Symbolism Revisited notes on the thought process is, I don't know if you can still hear me. Hold on, because I'm trying to, I copied and pasted. It's really simple process. This book will have you change us behavior. Symbolism, we know that is the second of a trilogy. The first being An African Answer, The Key to Global Productivity. The last book in the trilogy would be titled The Symptomatic Thought Process, Changing the Structure of Civilization. This book, Symbolism Revisited, notes on the symptomatic thought process is a definitive departure point for all works on symbolism and mythology. I'm not going to read a book that's going to refer to certain things. Now, it's different if this book was about Africa and the signs and symbols and things of that nature dealing with Africa. I would rock with you all the way. I'd be like, oh, hold on, I'm with you. But I'm not listening to nobody that's following in the footsteps of Gerald Massey and Carl Jung. I'm trying to get our people away from. And I think that's where you don't fully understand where I'm coming from, is that I'm trying to get our people away from Gerald Massey and Carl Jung, and you're about to reintroduce them. Not saying you're about to reintroduce them per se, but you're about to reintroduce them. Now, if I really had some the only way that I would read a book like that is if I was going in there to debunk the book. I ain't gonna lie to you. This is a fact. If I just felt like one day I woke up on the wrong side of the bed and said, you know what, I'm gonna buy this book and then I'm just gonna tear it to pieces, then I would just tear it to pieces and write a book refuting all the information in the book. Or find me 5 or 6 claims and write a book about the 5 or 6 claims in the book. I mean, that's just basically what I would do. But I don't have the energy for that because we've already tore to pieces over the last 4 or 5 years. We already been tearing to pieces to a lot of the Rosicrucian and occultist behavior that has infiltrated the Black community and got these so-called woke people or conscious people out here thinking that, like chakras, kundalinis, third eyes, Buddhism, Christianity, Judaism, all these different cultural traditions and practices that are outside of the continent, all stem and come from the continent of Africa. You got people talking about Wajet Tet. What the hell is that? Talking about Kundalini practices in ancient Kemet or correlating it to that. Like, this is total nonsense. So I'm trying to wean people off of the misconceptions that have been taught to us or passed down through a Rosicrucian and occultists, because other people aren't familiar with the fact that, okay, they might be reading the wrong thing. So that's why Kofi was like, bro, are you cross-referencing your sources? Because if you are, then you will realize inside of a lot of the works, especially with symbolisms, you're going to deal with occultists. You know what I mean? You don't have, like, when you're talking about symbolisms in from an African perspective, you're usually talking about cosmologies, because the strength of the symbolism, the symbols in African traditions is always going to be in the shape of their cosmology, their creation stories, their mythos, their, you know what I'm saying, how they look, their worldview. Like these are things that initially triggered the beginning of this conversation and got us to the point of where we are now. Like, when you're looking at everybody else's symbols and symbolisms and you're trying to correlate them to me, an African person or a person with African thought, you know, or African centered, I should say, then you know you're actually impeding on my African centeredness, and you're disrespecting it. Like I already have to deal with is the presence of Islam in Africa. I have to deal with the Christianity in Africa. I have to deal with my brothers and sisters on the continent, and even my neighbors, because both of my neighbors on the left and right of me are very much so from the continent. You know, we have to deal with the fact that a lot of you know, a lot of the cultural and traditional practices and beliefs that have been instilled in them before the coming of Islam and Judaism or Christianity was robbed and taken from them and then given to them by something else in order for them to survive. And most people don't know that history or avoid that history because it pulls back an ugly scab. So I don't want to revisit that. I'm trying to build on something that my people already had, reintroduce them to themselves, let them get used to themselves again, and then let them build anew or start anew. And you know, because we left those we left our traditions behind because we thought that these newer traditions served a better purpose in our lives. When you go back and you look at history, you see that. But that's not the case. This is the reason why Sutek is fighting so hard against the Hebrews. This is why I'm fighting so hard against the Hebrews. And I don't even get into the conversations with the Hebrews. I don't even like none of that. But I had to get into a conversation with them the other day because of their misrepresentation of sources. And this always goes back to literature review and knowing what you're doing. Now, I'm not disrespecting the author. The author can be a very smart intellectual person. But even in that, we have also found that a lot of our older authors who have clinged to the ways of the old are dealing with beliefs that they won't let go because it's something that got them out of a different situation. And then they just won't let it go. They think everything comes from the continent. And they have also been misguided and misrepresented because why? They haven't used rigorous research methodology to really solve some of these questions and answers that people are looking for today. So no, in no way, bro, am I actually just dealing with that. Like I said, if you want me to read the book, I'll read the book. But you got a Cash App is $KSLP1020. I promise you, I will buy the book. I will show it live. I will read 50 pages a day. It's only a 160-page book. I will read 50 pages a day. I guarantee you that I will spend 2.5, maybe 3 hours reading a book a day until I finish the book, and then I will give you my critique of the book. But and if the book is worth anything to me, I will reimburse you your $20. But I am not going to spend my $20 on a book that I know is going to contain those signs and symbolisms of premortal man. I'm trying to get away from geromancy. I'm trying to get away from the whole notion of Christianity, Judaism, and all these symbolisms meaning certain things and all of that. I'm trying to get my people away from that. We lose in that battle, right? It makes us less literate. It keeps us in the realm of belief. Then we can't answer real life or real world or natural world questions to help us advance. We can keep our mythos. I'd rather have African mythos over a European ideology or Arabic ideology any day. I'm not an Arab. I'm definitely not Greco-Roman. I ain't none of them. So no, man, I ain't trying to disrespect you, man, and none of that craziness, man. I'm just really at the end of the day, I'm just trying to let you know, bro. It is what it is with me, man. I'm not reading some stuff that I'm already familiar with as far as the source information. Because I'm even looking at the bibliography and it ain't making sense.
What's in the big argument?
He keeps saying, you know nothing about the bro. I just looked the bro up. We just read 2 descriptions of the brother. We read 2 descriptions. Hold on. Let me see if I can get back to it because I had switched off. God dang it, man. I hate when I make people mad, man. They be arguing all day, mad for no reason. What's the name of this stupid book again? Let me go back. I was trying to dig the author up like a mug. That's how I found
That other cat.
the more information on it.
Lafayette niece said Morehouse College be
Damn.
trying to push General
Hold
Massey.
up.
Damn. Morehouse a black college, ain't it? Ain't Morehouse a black college, y'all? Am I still on here? Sean Sutek, can y'all hear me? Oh, okay. They must have stepped away from the computer then. I thought I was having some function. I don't know. Sean went to go get something, man. But anybody else got any questions till he come back with you? Or your more house is black college, but my elders steered me away from General Massey Boogeyman. Yeah, Sean done dropped out, man. Sean done dropped out. Sutek, you got anything else, man? Sutek. Yeah, it might be me. Hey, let me know, y'all, if y'all can hear me in the chat. I'm gonna have to come out this room here. All right, well, he in the car making a run. Sean, what's the name? Dropped off, man. So I guess I end the stream, man. I appreciate everybody for tuning in, man. I hope we was able to answer a few questions. Hope y'all was able to get a better understanding when we're talking about the supreme deities and the lesser deities and some other things that we talk about. A lot of stuff that we talked about, like I said, you can go to our publishing company, Same Tree Different Branch Publishing. We done posted a link in there a couple of times and get my book, Beautiful Lessons About Key Moyo. Again, I want to say peace and Black African power, and we'll see y'all next time. Peace. And